thoughts on Oakland, and I got to talk about National Weed Appreciation Day.
Yes, sir. That's what's up. My man John Fisher coming up today at 1 o'clock, 1:05. That's a pleasant surprise. That's a pleasant surprise. I forgot about that. Yeah, pleasant surprise. Today at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, live. John Fisher, Patty Cake, Microwave. Cooking with the Microwave right here, once again, at 1:05 p.m. Eastern today. So tune in. Make sure you follow Stewart Media and Entertainment. That's how we are doing it. Let me read some of these messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com. From that ninja in the chat room on Spreaker.com, man, my statement was pretty clear and concise. Y'all have to get your emotions out of this. So y'all really don't think he could have said out loud the police are murdering black people without being politically correct about it? Y'all are offended because I think you should have said that. Then by all means be offended. No, Ninja, and I said this to you when we had you on the call earlier. And back to this Obama, did he do enough for black America or not? Yes or no? I can't remember specifically, and it may have even been more than one time, through some of the senseless murders of black men over the last couple of years, he did come out relatively strong for the guy running the free world, against police brutality. And he took a lot of flack, and you remember a lot of conservatives and, the right-wing media and Fox News were saying he shouldn't just say anything at all. He's not representing all black people. He's representing all people, and his politics and his thinking about police brutality in his country. He should have just kept that to himself. You don't remember that? And I'm going to look for it when we get a chance during the break and try to tell you the specific time and what exactly he said. But he has said things. He has spoken out against police brutality in this country. And it might have even been through the Michael Brown case. Now it's kind of popping back in my head. I think it was the whole Michael Brown case in Ferguson, Missouri, where he spoke out, and he took a lot of flack from the conservative media in this country and from the right-wing Republicans in this country as well. He did. I believe it was Michael Brown, but we'll confirm that later on today in the show. Let me take a call. Another call. I appreciate the calls, man.
Hey.
Thanks for calling the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? What you want to talk about?
What's up, Stu? This is Harvey Scott.
Harvey Scott, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I had to call up. I've been a long-time listener. I had to call up to support Ninja as far as President Obama. He could have done more because we all, as black people, it was great for symbolism and seeing a black family, no scandals or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But as far as doing stuff for us as a whole, he really hasn't. I mean, we like to make excuses, as black community, saying that he couldn't do this, he was tired. But he did. He passed legislation for gays. He gave Indians reparations. He did a lot for Israel. So somewhere in there, like I said, I don't want to bash the man like that. He was, it was great symbolism, but I think he could have done a lot more.
Yeah.
And we can't just keep saying that he couldn't do a lot because his feet were tied. I mean, it was a ton of people, white, black, and otherwise, that were against passing gay legislation. But he did that with no problem, even though you said he was against it in the beginning. So I just think, I don't want to bash him like that. I'm not that strong against him, but I just think he could have done more.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And I got one more thing, if you got time.
No, go ahead.
About about the whole sitting out resting players. Did you see what Kobe Bryant said in regards to LeBron yesterday?
Yeah, I did see. Kobe basically signed off on, in particular, he was talking about LeBron and that he thought it was okay resting LeBron James. But you know what I would say to that, and I'll just give you my thoughts before you even speak, is I think Kobe right now is he's trying to be a politician himself. Kobe Bryant played pretty much in the finals when the Lakers won their 2 championships after Shaq had left. Kobe Bryant played in the finals, or maybe the Western Conference Finals, probably 6 or 7 years in a row. And he never complained, and Phil Jackson never took the liberty to sit him down. So I just think that he's not trying to offend LeBron because him and LeBron are cool. So I think that's more so than politics. I mean, you can't believe, bro, that, resting as a healthy player is a good thing, especially for the league and for the fans.
No, I don't think as a whole, but I was just saying from the LeBron standpoint, I mean, this man, took, I think, a total of, 5 or 6 games off this year. And just the basketball that he's played, like the 6 consecutive finals. And, I mean, that's another whole 2 seasons that he's playing. So, I mean, when Patrick Beverly and James Harden and guys like that come out and say, I want to play, but you haven't played the basketball that this man has played. That's all. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with the whole sitting out. Like if he did like 20 games, 30 games or something like that, then I would have a problem with it. But, I mean, I just think it was a little bit overblown. Not necessarily, not from you, but just from the media as a whole. That, I mean, this guy sat out 40 games.
Right.
That's all.
Right.
I love the show, man. That's it.
Appreciate the call. My man Harvey Scott, thanks for the call. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. Listen, I had no intention of talking about the legacy of Barack Obama on today's show, but it bees like that sometimes on the Doug Stewart Show. Let me say this, man. And Harvey Scott basically came on here, and thanks for the call, Harvey, once again, and kind of defended Ninja's standpoint on Barack Obama. And listen, let me make sure I say this. I'm going to say this and put a bow on it, lastly, and wrap this thing up with a bow. I understand where y'all are coming from. And I said this in as many words earlier when I talked about this. I wish that Barack Obama would have done more directly and blatantly to help black people as his term as president. I would have loved for that to happen. Okay, and I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself again, but I have to a degree to kind of lay my thoughts out on this. I agree. I wish that he would have. I guess what I'm saying is that in his situation, he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. If he did, something that directly affected black people in our status of life here in this country as a whole, then he wouldn't have been able to operate. He wouldn't be able to reside as president in this country because he would have got so much flack from the other side. I understand that part about it. I wish that he would have done more. I guess where I'm at on the situation is I understand both sides. I definitely understand both sides. I understand Harvey Scott and that ninja side, but I also understand my side and the majority of people that say that Barack did a lot and he did all that he probably could have in the circumstances that he was in. I guess from my standpoint is I get it, but from my standpoint, I don't feel like that I should bash him. Like I don't feel like that I should talk out openly and bitch and gripe and moan and groan about the job that he did do because I understand both sides about it. Maybe, not maybe, definitely I wish he would have done more and could have done more, but I'm not going to sit here after the fact and say he did a bad job. And if you're not even saying he did a bad job, but you're saying he could have did more, that's kind of lightweight saying he didn't do a good job at all. And that's too far of a stretch for me. You understand? In effect, I'm just going to let history say and tell what it says and tells about his presidency. That's it. I'm not going to be somebody that's going to stand on the sideline and say Barack should have done this, Barack should have done that. I just don't feel like that's the right way to go about it. Period, point blank. That's how I feel about it. A lot of different facets to that conversation, man. It just is. It's a lot of different facets to that conversation. I understand the political aspect. I understand him, people saying he should have done more. But I also understand that I know the guy did probably more so than any president that we've ever had. We've talked about that earlier. And so I just don't feel like after the fact that I should go out there and belittle and berate the job that he did as 8 years as president. Never did anything to embarrass himself. Let's just let it live at that. What's the point of, going on and on about he didn't do anything for black people? Like, what's that going to solve? What's that going to do? I mean, you can't possibly be in your right mind and say that Donald Trump, and just being in office for, I guess, a little bit over 2 months, has done more not just for black people, but for people in general. Donald Trump hadn't done anything. The main legislation he was trying to pass, got vetoed. It wasn't enacted in this whole repealing of Obamacare. Right. Obama was so good and smart and thorough. That's probably the best word. The dude was so thorough in what he did. You had the consensus across the Republican side of things that they were going to repeal this Obamacare. And punk-ass Donald Trump couldn't even do that. And I'm sure, you're not thinking about it right now, that Obama probably had legislation that didn't pass, obviously because he had a lot of angry Republicans working against him. But, Donald Trump, this is the main thing that he campaigned on, which was ridiculous. Maybe Obamacare, and I don't think I've talked a lot about this, maybe Obamacare could have been better. Maybe it could have been upgraded. But Obamacare, to a lot of people, was a good thing. It gave a lot of people health care that didn't have that the opportunity to have it before. Okay? So the thing to do, the smart thing to do, is if were Trump were to come in and say, listen, we want to change Obamacare, okay, we want to make it better, but it was an ego thing. The whole thing is that the term they continue to use was, we're going to repeal it. We're going to repeal it. It was an ego thing. It was an ego thing. It almost felt like that because Barack Obama, this black guy, came in and did something historical in this country's history, gave health care to millions and millions of people that didn't have it before. It was because he did that, we're going to repeal it. We're not going to let history show that Barack Obama did this incredible thing, so we're going to repeal it. And the shit blew up in his damn face. It was ego. It was an ego thing. And now what you going to do? He got the lowest approval rating of any president in the history of this country, 36%. Man, you ain't shit. But what y'all expect? And there's people listening to this show right now that voted for Trump. What'd you expect? What did you expect? For the people out there that voted for Donald Trump, I got a question for you. What did you expect? The man is the first president. I must remind you again. The man is the first president in this country's history that doesn't have any political background, any diplomatic background, or military background. The very first. What the fuck did you expect? Back in 3 minutes.
I need to say anymore. Hey. Yup. Do I need to say anymore? Yup. Shake a leg and make this steady. Oh, the feeling that just re-hit me so. I will proceed to finesse this as if it was the baddest chick I ever talked to. Whoa, yeah, even though my clothes smell like Joe. See, I'ma let you know I got a vision and goal. Yeah, me and this mic. More than love is lust with an appetite. She offered the chain, so I offered the chain. Shawty made me look cold in the platinum thing. The rent done changed, we got to maintain. We got to keep a chunk of chain. It's something like a range road. We keep it mobbing in the heater when the brain can blow. Don't get it twisted, baby, my salary ain't set. Like my dinner to get your cavity checked. And I mean no disrespect. You move your neck. Do I need to say anymore? Hey. Yo, do I need to say anymore? Hey. Yo, do I need to say anymore? Hey. Yo, you just rush the check, don't rush the bet. Freezing the waters, I want respect. To excel without excelling my last breath. Cause I have come to conquer the face of death. Yup, no faith is left in the face of death. With no trace of wealth, we face ourselves is coming. With no peace of mind, you find me gunning. With no sense of time, I found you running. This just got more crazy, G. Call me a little 50 cent, the bullets won't faze me. Resurrection and creation, the God have blessed me. No pain pen and a count on the paper, you can't check me.